All right, there we go. Emerald Coast Stacker, welcome.
Hey, Em.
Man, it has been a crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. In a lot of
Yeah.
ways it has.
Yeah.
You and I talked a little bit about the Charlie Kirk thing, and I just
Right.
I'm frazzled, dude. I just that was a truly a turning point for me.
Look, yeah. Yeah, and the thing that gets me about that is and I'm still very adamant that one of the great things about this country is we have the right to our own opinion. But one of the older ladies at work, a very staunch Catholic, so talking about, well, all the crap he used to spew. No, it's
Huh?
just, she's also a very proud registered member of the Democratic Party. And I asked her, I said, is it that he was spewing crap, or is it because he was associated with Donald Trump? Because all I ever heard come out of his mouth is what the younger generation doesn't want to
and you
hear.
know what? Damn it, that
That's
shouldn't
the
matter.
truth.
I mean, look at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's he was the literally the epitome of what we've lost in that civil discourse. Discussion should generate light, not heat, and it's
and you've got people that weren't his biggest fans for whatever reason, and that have actually come out and said, here's a guy that would literally hand a microphone to anybody and let them say their piece, and then he wouldn't argue with them, but it's let's have a healthy debate about it.
Yeah.
And and I was watching a video today. I can't remember the guy's name now. He's not one of those shows that where they tell the truth. And he was, he says, he goes, I'm not a Christian. He goes, I'm not an atheist, but he says, I'm not a, how did he put it? He goes, I'm not, I can't remember. I say, basically, he says, I'm not atheist, but I'm not Christian either, type thing. And, but he says, and he laid it all out there. And this happens to be an African-American gentleman. And, they tried to throw the R word out there about Charlie, and he was the furthest thing from it. And, my main thing with it was the people that celebrated the death of another human being. Well, okay, you're celebrating, and and it all comes back to he's associated with Donald Trump, but the guy's also a father, he's a husband, he's a human being. And last time I checked, this is still the United States, and we still have the right to our own opinion, making up our own mind what we want to believe. And you've got some, i.e., and everybody, pardon my French, I see sevens here, and I try to watch my mouth in front of the ladies, but they're letting that jackass Jimmy Kimmel back on TV starting tomorrow night.
Well, they did say a suspension,
well,
and what, a week, 3 days? What was it? A week?
Yeah, it ended up being about a week.
Yeah, so
yeah, it's ridiculous. And the last administration kept throwing the word around unity. We need to stop being divided. But then you've got wastes of oxygen like him and Colbert that get on there every night and divide.
Yep.
They work overtime to divide.
Well,
And what's the first word in the name of our country? United.
yeah,
But we're not. And
yeah,
they're not. They're pouring gasoline on a lit fire
yep,
every night when they get on TV. And yeah, I mean they've thrown some barbs Jimmy Fallon's way, but and I'm not Fallon's biggest fan. I liked him when he was on Saturday Night Live, not so much on the Tonight Show. But the thing with Fallon is he's an equal opportunity crap talker. He talks crap about
yeah,
everybody,
yeah. You
just
know,
not one side or the other.
his best role, in my opinion, uh, you either know or you don't know, the supply guy in Band of Brothers.
Yeah,
It was brief, and it was
right.
it was
Well,
all right.
and I don't know if you ever watch his late night. Well, you're probably usually in bed by 9 o'clock, uh, but he was in town last weekend for the Lions game and actually filmed the show that aired Monday night from the Detroit Opera House, which is literally 2 blocks from the stadium. And as a born and raised Detroiter, Fallon really made Detroit look good. And he sat down Sunday morning with one of our local anchor people and did a pretty lengthy interview about being in Detroit and all this, that, and the other thing. And to have somebody like that say, I want to move to Detroit. I want to move the show to Detroit. I want to, I want to bring my family to Detroit. He goes, he goes, you got to remember, he says, I live in New York. He goes, how clean the city is and all the junk talking people do about Detroit. And he goes, they're all wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he was bragging about a friend of his that lives here, telling him, hey, we need to mountain bike around Detroit. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Well, his buddy shows up with another mountain bike, and they were mountain biking around downtown Detroit at 3 o'clock in the morning. He said it was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Try that in New York City.
No, you get 24/7. You got to worry about getting run over.
Yeah. I like what Emerald said in the comments there too about peacefully. And I'm with Emerald on this. I think it was I think it was not just a wake up for non-believers, but I think as far as believers, it had a heavy impact. I personally, I was so gobsmacked with it. I actually and I've been feeling this for a while, but I went back to my home church where Colby was baptized years ago, and I was just like going home, you know. And I went again this Sunday. I'm going to continue to go, but in fact, I found it was just a huge wake up for Christians to be bold, and we're all expecting this. This is what we're told is going to happen. But I found a note sheet in there. They give you outlines on the sermons every week. And I found a note sheet in there from 2006, January 27, 2006. And I hadn't completed it. And I'm like, I got to go back and talk to Pastor Dodd about filling in these last blanks to see if he remembers, 19 years ago.
Right.
But I thought it was kind of funny. I found that in there. It's one of my favorite little sheets. I kept it because it's several different names for God, Jehovah and Elohim and Adonai and all those sorts of things. But there's a lot of different names. But yeah, it's a wake up, I think, for a lot of people. And I say this in a little bit of, I don't know, not apprehension really, but I just expect things to get, and maybe maybe it's supposed to be that way. I think it is. I expect things to get worse.
It's getting worse for everything now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's sad to say, but yeah, it's I think I may have sent you the video. And now before I go any further, I have friends. I have Christian friends. I have Jewish friends. I have Muslim friends. I every
Yep.
religion and those that don't believe at all. That I've grown
Yeah.
up with. I've known my
Yeah.
entire life. They've known me their entire lives and that. But they're and let me backtrack for a second. You have people that come to the United States to escape what's going on in their countries. They get here, and it's not everybody. It's a select group, or a select group of a religion or nationality, not the entire, whatever you want to call it.
You're cutting out on my end.
They here, let me see if that works. They come here and want to turn the United States into what they ran from. And I don't know this. I understand this made national news. I don't know how many people actually saw it or not. Gentleman walks into a city council meeting in the city of Dearborn here in Michigan, questioning why a street was honorarily named for a gentleman that well, whatever you want to call him, a journalist, activist, whatever, who is a very staunch and very proud supporter of Hezbollah and Hamas. They named a section of street after him in the city of Dearborn, and this gentleman, an Anglo-Christian, resident of Dearborn his entire life, stands up in front of city council and wants to know why. And quotes this individual, the things that he said over the years, to which the mayor of the city of Dearborn, who is Muslim, says, "You are not welcome here. I will launch a parade and celebration when you move out of the city of Dearborn. You are not welcome here."
Yep.
And this is a
I saw
guy
that
who was
video.
born and raised
It's
in Dearborn.
outrage.
Yeah. And if you go back in history, and I can pull up pictures and send them to you, there was a time where it was in big, bold letters on the side of the police cars, "Keep Dearborn clean." Okay. Now, me as a kid, I remember the whole pitch in campaign to, stop littering and all that. Okay, you see trash on a piece of paper on the sidewalk, you pick it up, throw it in the garbage can. Throw your garbage in the garbage can when you're out walking around. That's what I thought it was growing up as a kid until I became an adult and things, or even, I shouldn't even say an adult. I was a teenager when I realized that this was something that a mayor back in time, one of the most racist individuals to walk the planet, had that put on the police cars, and what it actually meant was to keep anybody who's not white and American out of Dearborn. And this guy, this mayor, calls this gentleman an Islamophobe, a racist, all this. And my thing to him is, what are you doing? You're doing the same damn thing, just to, A and B are two different racist nationalities now. And I mean, to the point where even Dearborn was one where I went to a graduation party for a kid that I went to church with. We were invited. They lived in Dearborn. They had it at a picnic shelter at one of the Dearborn parks. And this is late 80s, early 90s. Dearborn PD rolls in and ID'd everybody there. And if your driver's license didn't say Dearborn, they kicked you out of the park because you weren't a Dearborn resident.
Yep.
And it's not getting better, it's getting worse. But yeah, we got to do something. So it's,
well,
yeah,
it is what it is. I mean, I just I truly think, and that particular mayor, disgusted me.
And
I'm not bashing on Muslims.
right.
I'm bashing on assholes, and pardon my cowboy French.
Yeah, no, that's
There's
exactly.
Muslims I don't like because of that. There's Catholics I don't like because of that.
Well, they
you know,
have city of Dearborn has, I mean, it was a great city at one time, but again, going back, like I'm turning 52 next week, so we're going back a few years when I got my driver's license and I could drive and I had my job, so I had my own spending money. Okay, the mall we all went to, Fairlane in Dearborn. We either went to Fairlane in Dearborn or Southland and Taylor, but Fairlane had a ton more stores and they had all the cool stores. So I go to drive out to Fairlane, and the minute I crossed into Dearborn, I had a Dearborn Scout car attached to my back bumper all the way to Fairlane because they ran my plate and it came back to an address in Detroit. And it's just it's gotten worse. And now they're literally, and the other example I will use is the city of Hamtramck. Okay. And anybody that knows anything about Metro Detroit, I see GSF's here. He might even know. Hamtramck was Little Poland, USA, forever. I mean, Polish markets. You either had to know Polish or know somebody who knew Polish if you went to Hamtramck for anything. And now you can't find a Polish person in Hamtramck to save your own butt.
Yeah,
because they've been run out. And again, I'm not saying, hey, you want to come to this country, settle in this country, become a citizen and all that's fine. But you got to learn to coexist with the people around you.
Yep.
And that's not happening. Everything's a fight. The younger generation, and again, I've got friends, I've got relatives that are school teachers, and they know what I mean by this. These our kids nowadays are not being taught. They're being indoctrinated. They're being groomed. They're being told what to think. And that's another part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep. Brief commercial interlude here, folks.
Yeah.
Kudos to the snack chick here at Cranky Acres for bringing me in a handful. Yes, I said chick. Yeah,
those are too good.
Yeah. These are. This is the mild transition from the official winter candy of the Cranky Stacker to the official summer candy, which is a bit of honey, of course.
Okay.
But that's the transition. Yes. Snack chick's looking for it. Hold on just a minute, Michi. I got to go help her find her Mancini peppers. And that's not code for anything. I'll be right back.
So I got one for Cranky when it comes back. He sent me a little, what do you want to call it? Like a social media joke about college football this past weekend because his Cornhuskers played my Wolverines on Saturday. And, it was kind of a dig at the Michigan Wolverines. And I couldn't find anything to send back to mess with him. Now, if we were playing Ohio State, I could find those all day, but there's not a lot of smack talking about Nebraska. So, let's see. Sorcerer Stan. Howdy. All right, let me see. Let me go back through the chat here real quick. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I know Seven. I saw Seven. Seven, hi. I'm sorry I didn't say hi earlier. Let's see. Oh, and here while we're changing the atmosphere of the conversation, I told everybody I was going to do this. How about them Wolverines?
That wasn't an awkward silence. That was intentional.
How about them Wolverines?
Yeah, how about them? By golly, they won the day.
Hey, at least they kept it close. I told everybody I
was a good football game
day trying to find some kind of kind of a reply to what you sent me, and I couldn't find it. Nobody talks bad about Nebraska. Now, if we were going back and forth about Ohio State, I could send you a million.
Yeah, exactly.
The Ohio State University,
and be justified in doing it.
Oh,
Yeah, I here's the deal. I'm a Husker fan because I live here. Not because I was born and bred and, go back to the Bug Eaters. That was the first team name,
yeah.
I could, if we get the game, I watch it. If we don't, if we don't get the game, I don't watch it. I don't go out of my way to find it. But if we get the game, I'll watch at least half.
Yeah. Well,
I really am not a.
We're kind of rabbit around.
Yeah, well, it's Michigan, dude.
Yeah, if we can't get it on TV, we got I joke around with people. How can you be a Red Wings fan and a Tiger fan and you don't have cable? Well, gee, let's see. There's this ancient invention. It's called a radio.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's the thing with the glass tubes and the vacuum particle parts in it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times when I was a kid that, and I say this, because I'm going back to the days when I had an 8 o'clock bedtime, which didn't help matters any when the Tigers were out on the West Coast and games didn't start until 10:30 our time, or even same thing with the Red Wings when they would go out to play LA, or go out on that West Coast road swing. And my grandfather was my partner in crime. I had one of those little pillow speakers that you could get at Radio Shack. They were about this thick and about that big. They plugged into the radio. You stuck them between your pillows, and you could still listen to the radio, but nobody else could hear it. And
I've never heard of that sort of thing. That's
the number of times where it was Ernie Harwell and Paul Carey calling the Tiger games that I fell asleep to, and Bruce Martin and Paul Woods doing the Red Wings games.
Nice.
Yeah.
I should. Every kid should have one of those. Yeah. Every kid should have one of those.
So
I'll be dang. I never. You guys must have been rich because we.
No, you know what? They were like $2.99.
No kidding. Because one of the best radios. I was going to say it at Radio Shack. One of the best ones I ever had was a little kit that I put together.
Yeah.
For AM. That's back when KAAY was like 1110 out of Little Rock, Arkansas. They did the late night AM rock and roll stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's all our sports teams were on. And anybody that, like I said, anybody that knows anything about Detroit or has ever spent any length of time in Detroit, the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building, AM 760 WJR, was the Tigers, the Lions. The Lions were on 1270, which was a talk radio station, but the Pistons, the Red Wings, and the Tigers were all on WJR. And to show you how large their signal was, when I got married back in '96, we drove to Florida for our honeymoon because my now ex-wife was afraid of flying, and we're driving through the mountains down in Tennessee listening to the Red Wings on WJR. Then we get down to Florida and we met up with some family friends of hers to go to a Tampa Bay Lightning game. We're driving to the Lightning game, listening to the Red Wings in Tampa, Florida on 760 WJR. So,
wow.
Yeah, they were
blowtorch.
Very, very strong signal.
Blowtorch.
Yeah.
Well, Michi, what are you picking up?
I'm sticking to Constitutional.
Are you?
Every time I look at the price of silver, my the butt cheek that holds the wallet starts to hurt. So
yeah. I every time I think I'm going to have a little bit for it,
Right.
it,
It
it
goes
goes
up
up.
again. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I watched that entire 2-day dip, and I went 41, huh? Yeah, that's pretty good. It's probably going to go down a little more. I
Yeah.
thought maybe
Well,
40,
if it
50 or something like that, and damned if it didn't go right now. Farmer's gone, isn't he? Dog on it.
yeah.
I got to get. Grandma Cranky gave me $126 to pick her up a gram of gold somewhere, and I need him
Okay.
to do some. Y'all seem to get a little better gold prices up there than around here.
Yeah.
Although I haven't talked to Dave, but
Yeah.
um, these guys down here, like Jimmy went out and spent $2,000 on stuff the other day, and
Yeah.
that was back when it was $40 an ounce, and
Right.
you know that's fine. I mean, it was a little jealousy there and a little envy, but I'm really happy for him because he's got the money to do it. But
Right.
man, did it hit 45 today? 44.06.
Uh,
M says, look at that.
yeah. It got up over 44. I mean, it seems like just yesterday we were all losing our minds because it went over 30. Because when I
Yeah,
got it, I got into it right around the $28, $29 an ounce for silver time.
yeah.
And
Wishing it was there again, right?
yeah, the guy up here up the road from me, he, from what I understand, if you go in and sell, he's got so much silver in his shop that he's running out of room. And actually, if you try to sell, you're gonna be probably about close to $4 under spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do to stay afloat. But
Yeah, M's got a point here too. Just wait till those that looking to get out of the stock market get into metals. That's gonna jack it. But you're right. I would hate to. I mean, I've got some that I'm going to do. All this stuff right up in here is going to be in an auction coming up.
Yep.
Some stuff I've done, but I'm thinking maybe I'll sell some liver tads or something.
Right.
I just want to do. I need to sell a little bit of it, but not much. But
right.
I don't.
Well,
hell,
you're definitely
it's
gonna
like a spot and go auction's the way to go nowadays. I mean,
you're definitely gonna get closer to what you should get if you're selling peer to peer versus
well, and you know
going to the
what,
coin
Michi,
shop right now.
I was thinking about that. This morning at $44 an ounce.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lose money on any of it.
Right.
Not even my ASEs or my, there may be a couple of Libertads in there I paid close to that for, but
yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, that's when I was out to see my buddies out there in Ipsy, not this weekend past or before last. And I understand they got to do what they got to do, but when he said they just sent a whole crap ton of constitutional out to, basically it's going to get melted down, I cringed because my thing, like when it comes to dimes, I prefer the Mercs to the Rosies. That's just that's my flavor, and they had none.
Yep.
Like, oh, it made the hair on the back of my neck stand up on end to wonder how many Mercs went to the melter. But they were.
God, I hate to think of that.
Yeah, they're constitutional. They were still hanging. Last time I was in there, they were at 29, so it went up a dollar face more. So they were at 30 times face.
And that's I was going to ask you what face is right now. This is the only full tube I have, and it's Mercs. Yeah. I'm working on 2 tubes of Rosies. I mean, I'm not real close to either one, but you know what this is? This is 80% Canadian, and I'm telling you what, right now, that's looking pretty good.
Right.
I do want to fill this up eventually.
Yeah.
And let's see. Here's my tuba 80% quarters. You can tell it's not full either.
Right. Well,
But
there's
hell,
my
I got more
80%
eighty
dime.
percenters than I do 90%.
There's my
So
80% Canadian.
what? That's number 2, ain't it?
No, that's the one Canadian tube.
Really?
So yeah. But
what's up with that? Yeah, I mean, you could just take a
there's
jet ski across the. There you go. There you go.
And,
So it's 30 times space.
And then there's the Rosies. The full
Oh yeah,
tube.
you're sucking wind on Rosies, and that that's okay, but
I don't know. I get drawn into the Mercs.
I like them a lot,
Yeah.
and people say, well, if they're real smooth, well, yeah, if they're real smooth, you're going to lose a little bit of silver. But I tell you what, if it comes time to barter, nobody's gonna weigh a mercury dime, folks. I got news for you. They're gonna take it because it buys them a loaf of bread or a gallon of gas again,
Right. Exactly.
or a pound of hamburger.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? M's said 40%. People used to scoff at the 40%. I'm good with it all the way down to 10%. I mean, seriously, if it has a silver content to it, somebody will need it if you're in a barter situation.
Right.
But I've got some 40%, and not a lot, but when I picked it up for $6 or $4 a piece or whatever it was like, sure, why not? It's silver.
That's I've got 2 full rolls of 40 and then like a partial roll of 40, the $50, and then I think I've got a bicentennial proof set that's all 40.
Nice.
Even the quarter and the dime are 40%. So
yeah, and did you see that British guy on Yankees video today or yesterday?
I didn't. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet.
Dude has got he's a retired Navy guy, I guess, British Royal Navy, and
okay.
he had like a tackle box he was carrying with him with all these trays, and he's got, I think he said he had over he got to have over 2,000 ounces of silver, and he's got a little bit of gold, he said, but he's all in on silver. And he said he didn't like to mess with 10% silver or anything like that. And I can see it. I can see the argument for sure.
Yeah.
But and maybe that's kind of like the part of me that just likes coins,
Yeah.
that would pick them up. But he was way up on silver, and that I found that interesting because Brits pay the VAT on silver, but they don't on gold.
Right.
And gold's a little cheaper over there, but I found it interesting that he would opt for that, and thinking about having 2,000 now. Of course, a lot of it was coins that he'd gotten from living all over the world,
Oh yeah.
But he's golly, 2,000 ounces of silver. I can only dream about stuff like exactly.
That. So, yeah, there's my 40%, 2 fulls and about that much of a third one.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Not a thing wrong with that. And I'm with you. I hate seeing I hate even the thought of 90% getting melted.
Yeah,
but, to the young kids stacking or just getting started or anything, it don't mean shit to them. It's
right.
Oh, sorry, I said
I didn't hear a thing.
I said another word.
Didn't hear a thing.
it doesn't mean anything. There's no significance, to old dogs like me. It's of great historic, value.
Right.
But it's like, does it really matter anymore?
Yeah. So, at least so. I'm doing pretty good on my 80% half dollars.
Now there you got me. I got I think I got about, I don't know if I even have half dollars. I got some Canadian dollars.
Oh,
But
I've got quite a few of those.
I'm not sure what I got in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go through my bag marked Canadian in the. Oh, God. I don't know where I got to go to find that, though. Yep. One piece at a time. It does add up.
Yes, it does. And yes, it does.
And
piece here, piece there. And that's the main thing I like about the guy that I've been going to out in Ypsilanti there. Because the other two places, well, the one place is never open. I've given up on them. And the other place I go to, if you're buying Constitutional, you got to buy a whole tube. You can't just buy a couple here, a couple there. But you go out to my guys at Old Town there, and they've got trays. You got like a tray here that's your dimes, your quarters, and your half dollars, and then you got another tray that's your piece dollars and Morgans, and they'll pull the tray up. You can go through. You're looking for a certain year, they'll let you go through and look for it and all that. And they're real cool about it. And like he even said to me, because I was looking through, and he goes, "Hey, I got more in the back if you want me to bring out." No, we're good. Don't. I know you want me to spend money, but doggone it.
This is the only pickup that I've got, and it's the AOK.
Yeah.
And that's my only pickup. Look at that.
Yeah.
Pinky.
Yeah. There's the 80%ers, the Canadian dollars. So, and every $10 in Canadian, 80% Canadian is 6 ounces.
Excellent.
I learned that. Learned that watching. I'm gonna screw up his name. Canadian Silver Seeker. So,
okay,
he's
he's
Gosh,
doing. I still want to get one of his ones. I got to send him some stuff.
Yeah, he's working on filling. For those of you that don't know, he's working on filling an old $1,000 worth of quarters bank bag full of silver quarters, 80% silver quarters, and he mentions that all the time. That every $10 of 80% Canadian silver comes out to 6 ounces. So, and then there's my 50%.
Lovely. So, I love Canadian stuff. It's like British stuff to me. And like
they celebrate everything in Canada. So,
pardon me, I had to mute there because I coughed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Emerald. They don't collect anything except those blasted Pokemon cards and stuff like that. It's nothing of, and it's appropriate for the generation, I guess. There's nothing of intrinsic value that is valued anymore. And they'll all be the ones taking the chip so they can find Pokemon in the dark.
Around here, they break into card shops to steal the Pokemon cards.
Yeah. I mean, it's big business. Those and the magic cards and all that. Yeah, whatever. Every generation has its thing, huh? But it is what it is.
Some of the stuff I don't get, though. Watching these kids go out and get hit by cars.
Yeah,
because they're chasing Pikachu.
Yeah, there's that. Look at that. I'm having fun over here.
So on a lighter note,
lighten it up. Yeah.
On a lighter note, Cranky and I were conversing back and forth about one of our awesome, amazing landmarks here in Detroit.
Oh,
the old Michigan Central Depot, which is now referred to as Michigan Central Station. And being a kid that grew up literally like 7 minutes away from that building, I watched it go from being a majestic place where my grandfather used to take me on Sundays after church to watch the trains come and go, because I was a train fanatic when I was a kid. Watched it go from being, you thought you were the coolest kid in the world because you were at Michigan Central Depot, to a building that, we prayed they weren't going to tear it down, but it got to the point where it
Got
looked
dang
like
close to it.
we thought they were going to have to. It sat abandoned for 30 years, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Ford Motor Company comes along, buys the building, puts in excess of $1 billion into refurbishing this building from the ground up and down to the like 4 basements underneath. And this place is up and running. And mind you, I haven't gotten a chance to go down there and walk through the building, but from the pictures and the videos I've seen, they got it pretty dang close back to what it was when I was a kid, with like the crystal chandeliers and all the Art Deco work and the marble.
How many tons of red marble was that they brought in? It was. Did you send me that video, Michi?
It was a crazy amount. I don't remember the number, but it
was like 300 tons or something like that. It was just an incredible place.
You go to New York City's got Grand Central Station, and all these places have these huge, amazing looking train stations. And we've got Michigan Central Station, and they may eventually restore railroad service to that station. They haven't said for sure one way or the other, but it's just,
it was like 29 trains or something like that a day went through there. Through the.
I mean, this was the place where, back, my grandfather, when he shipped out to go to Hawaii during World War II, he boarded the train there and took the train out to San Francisco, and then a ship over to the islands, and then a ship back to the islands, and a train back from San Francisco to Michigan Central Depot. There's a lot of history in that building, and we were very excited to see them, restore the luster. And also, as much as I cannot stand the guy, and I really cannot stand this guy, they wanted to do a big hoop-de-doo to celebrate the reopening of the train station. So they basically put the whole planning and everything for this big concert celebration or whatever in the hands of one Marshall Mathers.
Any relation to Jerry?
No. We know Mr. Mathers. He's better known to most as Eminem.
Oh,
the rapper.
That guy.
That man put together one of the coolest shows I've ever seen, with the laser light shows and this, and I mean, I outgrew rap before I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
But he put on a show. They put on a show. Everybody he brought in, and he brought in a couple of local guys and Jelly Roll and some other people, a few famous people in that, and they put on an amazing show. Again, where I sit back and, like I said, I can't stand the guy. I can't stand him any further than I could throw him. But he's got some talent when it gets to putting something together.
Technically, yeah. Well, how cool is that? Should I be a little embarrassed that I didn't know who Marshall Mathers was?
Well, see, the whole thing that I know him as Marshall Mathers, and there are many other individuals like me that know him as Marshall Mathers, because of what we used to do for a living.
It's called the RSR, the Rap Sheet Reference.
Exactly. He had he's matured a lot. He's still at one of the I'll abbreviate JA, or
I lost
you
you.
he's still a jackass. You got me?
Hey, Emerald, thanks for coming in, bud.
You
Thanks for coming in. Well, yeah, I once a JA,
he
always a JA, I guess. I don't
yeah
know, but who of
yeah.
us hasn't grown up and changed a little bit?
Well, no,
Thank goodness.
he's
But
he had a very hard dislike for law enforcement, to the point where he did a song for a soundtrack. Well, I don't want to call it a song. He did a rap for a movie, and he makes reference to, I think, if I remember right, the because back then our most of our major malls had their own police departments, and the mall he used to like to hang out at was Eastland Mall in Harper Woods, right on the Detroit border. And the first words of the song were, "Left the keys in the van with a gat in each hand, went up in Eastland, shot a policeman."
yeah,
And he wondered why he was getting pulled over all the time,
yeah,
and why every time he turned
huh?
around, the intro to Walker Texas Ranger, when the eyes of the Ranger are upon you, yeah, the eyes of the cops were always upon him.
Yeah,
So,
imagine that.
but he's matured a lot. He's still got some childish tendencies, but not like he used to.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's partly
but
all of us, I
it,
think.
yeah. Well, I think he grew up when he had to walk his daughter down the
No,
aisle, and then he grew up even more when his daughter hands him a Father's Day present. He opens it up, and there's a Detroit Lions jersey in there with the number 1 on it. And he turned it around, and the name on the back was Grandpa.
what?
Yeah,
Grandpa?
yeah, Grandpa.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, and he's
that's
got
how she
money now
told.
too.
That's how she
That
told. That's how she told her dad she was pregnant.
that's kind of a
She
cool story. But
she handed
Thanks
she
for
handed him a
coming in, man.
Lions jersey. Handed him a Lions jersey, and the name on the back was Grandpa. And there was a copy of the ultrasound picture wrapped up in the jersey.
Well, and he's got money, so
Yeah, yeah,
that always changes things. One's perspective
right.
to some degree.
Yeah, but no,
But
they made the city look good. I'll give them all the credit in the world for that. And one of these days, I'm actually going to take the time to go up there and stroll through that through the train station now that it's reopened. I guess they're working now. The top level is going to be a hotel.
nice.
The top floor is going to be a hotel, which should be amazing, because you go to one end of the floor and you got an amazing view of the downtown Detroit skyline. You go and you look out the south side and you're looking at the Ambassador Bridge that goes over to Windsor. It's right there. So, lots of cool views. And then
Nice.
then you look out to the west and you got the neighborhoods and you got the Ford Rouge plant out in the distance. So
That place, I don't know. What a wonderful place that must have been in its prime.
oh yeah.
I mean,
Even
it's so nice to hear it coming back, but
yeah.
what a
Even
man.
when I was a kid, I mean, it wasn't running like it was in the 40s and 50s, but still you walked in there, and I mean, we went down on Sundays because you didn't walk in there in jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like, like I've mentioned before, talking about stuff, everybody knows about Macy's, and the Macy's Thanksgiving parade, and Miracle on 34th Street and all that, and this high-end shopping. Well, in Detroit, we had Hudson's, which eventually became Macy's, but we had Hudson's.
Yeah.
And Hudson's was our version of Macy's. And that was a place where, grandma would tell me, okay, put your, you're going to put this on today because we're going to Hudson's. And she would get dressed up like she was going to church on Sunday. And I had to, put on a dress shirt and a pair of dress pants and all that. And we would go up the street, get on the bus, and go downtown and shop at Hudson's all day. and then go up to I can't remember what floor it was on now, but they had a restaurant in there that you sit down and there's the 5 plates and a bowl stacked on top of each other,
Yeah.
and 8 forks and 3
Taking
knives.
this away. I don't need all this.
Yeah, and the cloth napkins that were this high.
Yeah.
They were all like tented up and all that. And oh yeah, you that was another place you didn't go in there in jeans and a t-shirt.
That's great.
But that's,
I love
but
it. I love it.
unfortunately that building, it doesn't exist anymore. And the one of the 3 people that own downtown Detroit now is building a skyscraper on that property that just is a god awful looking building.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's just they it everything in
somebody
downtown
will like
Detroit,
it.
yeah, everything in downtown Detroit. Well, actually 2 owners now, because Mr. I is not with us anymore. But pretty much any of you know anything about like automotive and auto racing and all that, Roger Penske, and then Dan Gilbert, the guy that owns whatever the heck they're calling his financial, used to be Rock Financial, now I can't remember. Quicken Loans.
Quicken.
Yeah, he owns Quicken, and Dan Gilbert and Roger
Well, he ain't
Penske
making
pretty
no
much
money.
own. They pretty much own everything in downtown Detroit.
Wow.
When the city was in receivership and they realized that, wow, look at all these fire trucks that don't work. Look at all these police cars that don't work. All these, we've got 35 ambulances for the fire department and only 2 of them actually run. So the 2 of them and some other, the big 3 got together, and all of a sudden we got these, what they called the Penske rides. And, just got to get them claws into it. But I'm not knocking it. They've saved downtown. And
yeah, if they've done good
now,
stuff, that's all right. Somebody's got it,
Yeah, fortunately now they're starting to move out into the neighborhoods and do something in the neighborhoods. So
which leads right into something I wanted to ask you. I've noticed I did a couple of short videos. Matter of fact, I didn't even post them because I got 1,000 views on the first short that I did on Peanuts flag football game.
yeah.
And so I shot a couple more this Sunday, yesterday, and I forgot to even post them. It's just been crazy busy around here, and I'll tell you about that sometime. But we shit, forgot where I was going with that. Do. See, this is what happens when you get older, Michi.
Hey, I'm right behind you, Cranky.
Yeah. I know what it is. It's like a 40-minute drive to where his football fields are from where we live, and it's but I noticed that here there is so much now. What they're doing is like putting little business areas and apartments all together, like in different, like in clusters,
Right.
almost like pods, the way they're
Yeah.
building stuff. But there's there's houses being built and all that sort of thing. But the amount of housing houses compared to apartment buildings being built I mean, number of houses is minuscule compared to apartments that are going up. And I wondered if, Omaha's always kept kind of a low profile when it comes to, that globalist kind of thing. But I think I think we are, and it may be because we've got the big air, SAC base out there.
Mm-hmm.
I, I think they're really, really building up for this 15-minute city crap. And
it's
quietly, and that's the part that disturbs me, is that it's quiet,
Yeah.
And is Detroit doing a lot of that? I mean, are you guys?
What I've noticed now is they're like, especially in the actual city of Detroit, they're trying to rebuild what time destroyed. They're going in, Like you go through my old neighborhood, and I could take you down streets and say, well, Mr. and Mrs. So and so lived here,
Yeah.
and Mrs. So and so lived here, and my buddy Jason lived there, and this, but there's nothing there. But the whole city block is empty.
Yeah.
They're building houses on that again. They're built.
Good.
They're replacing the homes, and they're trying to make them affordable so that John and Sue that just got married and want to buy a house can afford to buy a house. And there's actually some areas where they've done urban gardens, where urban farming.
Yeah,
where they're growing your vegetables and that, and your fruit that you can grow in Michigan, which is kind of limited because of our weather. But
blueberries.
It's you want blueberries or strawberries? Go up to the UP. You want cherries? Go to Traverse City. But they put that into the community to help the seniors that are on a limited income, the mom that's on unemployment right now because she lost her job because her company that she worked for decided to move to the other end of the country and she can't afford to move.
Yeah.
So they let her go. To help those people, feed themselves and their kids, or
Well,
whoever.
Let me ask you something here, Michi. Omaha is the Omaha Metro, is over 1 million now. And we're actually kind of as far as the footprint, landmass for the city is kind of large. It's spread out. How many is in Detroit Metro? Is it 1 million?
I would have to do some research on that. I know I didn't see the numbers from 2020, but I know at one point the actual city of Detroit was under 1 million people.
Okay. Yeah.
But the thing is now with this resurgence and rebuild, you've got people moving back into the city, and it's everybody. Everybody wants to be a part of Detroit coming back up to what it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not what it fell into, but what it's coming back to.
Yep.
And
that's cool. Do you think they're doing the gardens and are they doing little grocery stores and that type of thing too in these areas? Because you guys probably had like food, what do they call them? Food deserts, or what is that what they call them? When there wasn't a grocery store or anything within a certain area.
The neighborhood I grew up in was unique because we had everything right there. If you went out to the suburbs or you went to the mall for something, and I'm going back to, like I made mention of going to the mall, when I got my driver's license, that was because we had already lost 3/4 of my old neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because everybody moved out because it turned into a crap show. They're late 80s, early 90s. But we had a chain of grocery stores that would probably, I don't know what chain grocery stores you guys have out your way. You guys got like Publix or Ralph's or stuff like
that? we got Hy-Vee and Kroger and Baker's.
Okay, we'll compare it to Kroger.
Yeah,
we had a chain of grocery stores here in the Metro Detroit area. It was called Farmer Jack, and their biggest competitor was Kroger, and that was when Kroger was about this big, not as big as it is now. Because I remember when Kroger filed for bankruptcy, and 95% of the Krogers in Metro Detroit disappeared.
Yep.
But we had one literally 2 city blocks north of my house. I could walk out to the public sidewalk, look up the street, and see the sign for Farmer Jack.
Yeah. Did you guys have IGAs up there?
We did, but they were few and far between.
Smaller stores.
The 2 I remember there was one in Dearborn Heights. Another city. Don't get me started on. there was one in Dearborn Heights, and then the only other one I ever saw was up in the UP in this small little town where my great aunt used to live. I mean, the town was literally that big.
Cool.
They had
My kind of place.
They had a bed and breakfast, the little 8-unit senior citizen complex that my great aunt lived in, a hair salon, and the IGA, and a fire station. That was it.
And that's all you need. That's all I need.
It only took you 3 minutes to walk the whole town.
Yeah, I like towns like that.
But but we had Farmer Jack there. We had the men's clothing, women's clothing, shoe stores, kids clothing, furniture stores, appliance stores. We had a mom and pop version of a Hallmark shop there on Vernon. We had a music shop, where you could go buy a guitar, you could go buy a saxophone or a trombone or whatever the hell you needed. We had office supply, we had jewelry. All the major banks had branches on Vernon. Mom and pop drugstores, you name it. It was right there. And that's starting to come back now. Oh, we even had 2 real huge farm markets, for your fruits and vegetables and stuff. But it's slowly making a comeback. It's there, like I said, a lot of the focus started back in the early 2000s, because it was 2001 they opened up Ford Field and Comerica Park.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately they're like, okay, well, Major League All-Star game for baseball, and hey, you guys are gonna host the Super Bowl in 2006. So they did all this major renovation to downtown Detroit, and it didn't go away after those events.
Yeah.
And there were streets that you would walk down in downtown Detroit back before that, where there was nothing on that street except empty buildings, and now you've got art galleries and flower shops and little non-political coffee shops.
Yeah.
There isn't
where you could get coffee.
Yeah, where you can actually get coffee and sit down, and the people aren't whining and crying that how dare my employer make me wear a uniform, stuff like that. But and just little cafes and stuff like that. And that was really cool to see. I mean, there's a couple microbreweries have moved in down there. And,
yeah, nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's just everything you could think of that you would have in a downtown is back in downtown.
Nice.
And the one thing, and this is the cop in me, when was it? Was it Monday or no? What was it? Friday. They officially opened their first Apple store in the city of Detroit. It's in downtown Detroit. And they were showing aerial shots, and it's like, don't these people work? He had people that were lining up outside that door at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the damn place didn't open until 5. And it's open 7 days a week, and he doesn't. And you would think after the stories, because they have a Nike store down there, and they got a couple other big name, like sports related, like shoe and clothing stores down there. These places, and it's every big city's got the problem. Snatch and grabs.
Yeah.
Where these people run in, grab whatever they can, and run back out the door.
Yeah.
Like, so you put an Apple store right there?
Yeah.
We know they like to come in and steal Apple products.
Yeah.
But no, they're working on it, and the neighborhoods are starting to come back, and it's nice. I don't get over to my old neighborhood very much, but when I do, I drive through the neighborhood, and you can see where people are taking pride in their property again. They're keeping their yards well groomed, and the houses are clean and looking good, and fresh paint on them, and people are trying. Yeah, and that's a lot more than I can say for what people were doing. Even 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Hey, I got a question for you real quick.
Yeah.
I want to do a kind of a wellness check. Have you seen, have I just not had enough time on on YouTube because I really haven't lately. But I was doing a wellness check on Capital Currency and Stacker Man. I haven't
I've
seen
seen
either one of those guys for a while.
I've seen Stackerman in the comments on some, or in the chat on some lives.
Okay.
I know he's, with him having the farm, I know they're probably in the midst of
Yeah,
harvest season.
this is his time of year for
And
sure.
I actually have to go through and search for people because YouTube's kind of getting like like your social media where like on Facebook, if I don't have contact with you every day, after about 5 or 6 days, I don't see any of your stuff unless I go and
Yeah,
interact with you on there, and then you reappear.
that's
So,
sad.
and
I hate to hear that.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go through and see if I see what's up with Capital because I haven't seen any of his
I
stuff.
haven't seen him for a long time. You know, my favorite
And,
video of Stacker Man's was the one where he was out walking in the cornfield with his dog. I love that
yeah.
thing. That was a
Oh
great
yeah.
stream. Stacker
Yeah.
Man, if you hear this, I just drop me a line and say hello because I just checking on you. I'm sure you're busy, but
yeah, they and then the other thing too, and I noticed it this year more than last year. I think a lot of people took a break from YouTube over the summer, so they're probably just starting to get back into it or whatever. Because I don't
FG says that Cap did a live stream 10 days ago. So
okay,
so he's not on as much as he used to be. I mean, he used to.
right,
Gosh, you could pretty much every day drop in on something he was doing.
right.
So I'm
That's
glad to hear he's doing okay. Thanks, FG.
even even I did that thing where I'm only doing maybe 1 or 2 videos a week now, just because I feel I get to a point where I feel like I'm repeating myself.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know, I put all my stuff away. It's like, hey, look, I got 10 more dimes. Hey, look, I got 10 more dimes. Hey, look at this.
Yeah.
You'll never guess. Oh, look, 10 more dimes. And it just, and like I said, a lot of people took time off. And as much as you try not to let it get to you, this stuff can, and I don't know why, but it can stress you out.
Well, it sure can. Hey, FG.
Like, okay. And it's like, I did I did this really awesome video yesterday. Okay, now what? What do I do for an encore?
Yeah. FG, I got I haven't forgotten about those antlers. I've got a small piece here, and I finally cut a ring, and it's not gonna. You can see it's like a small slab here. Was gonna be a ring, but
That
not
looks pretty
anymore.
cool the way it is.
Not anymore because it's not big enough for a ring. So this is going to be a pendant. This this right here, obviously I'm working on hollowing this out, and I did find out that and it's going to have some silver dust around it, epoxied around the turquoise. But this I'm part Delaware Indian, and I went online and looked up their sacred animals, and the tribe crest, for lack of a better term, always had a wolf paw, a turtle, a turkey foot, and a cross, which I thought was kind of interesting. But that's gonna polish up. And by the way, I did learn something about sanding and grinding on deer antler. It is really, really bad for you to inhale.
Yeah, I hear it doesn't taste very good either.
So it's bad news. Yeah. So that's just a work in progress, but I'm going to have to get a bigger diameter to actually sand this down around the outside and still have enough left for a ring. So
I'll tell you, what keeps catching my eye is that darn buffalo.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. That's going to be in the auction
really
coming up.
Out nice.
I don't know if you can see there's it's official.
Mm-hmm.
In honor of my first best friend. There's little prairies etched in the bottom, and then that's I cast that in 925 and then mounted the turquoise in there, and then
Yeah, that just, and it's cool because, I've done it. I know everybody's done it where you draw out your plan and okay, this is what I want it to look like.
Yeah.
And no matter how hard you work, it never comes out even close. I mean, that thing is spot on to what when you
Well,
showed you laid it out and said, this is what I'm
yeah,
doing.
that was
And
very labor intensive. I got to tell you, very.
I bet.
But and speaking of laying something out, here's another design. I've finally really actually started doing things semi-professionally, but had to swing a bunch of arcs to get a 6-sided. Then I'm going to do a little infinity sign here and some gold or silver beads around here. But I'm really, I love this. I'm totally enamored by this titanium and druzy quartz. You really can't see the blue in that. Let me get up.
Oh, it's definitely
look at that.
That's
the titanium layer, the blue and purple on the outside.
Yeah.
And the druzy quartz is inside. But these things are just gorgeous, and so that's going to be. I can't decide whether to make that into a ring, but I did a couple of little loops on the side to make it a pendant. I thought about making it a pendant, but we'll see. It's getting fun, really is.
Oh yeah.
So it's what it is. Got another little one started there. Yeah. So that's what I spend most of my time doing, listening to people's stuff online and doing. I told you I started going back to church, and I just really feel like that. That was a turning point for me. It sounding cliche, I know, but it really was a turning point for me.
No, sometimes we need that. So,
and I've been on the fence for a little while, but it's it's back to being important for me. So let's see, a week from today, the 22nd. Week from 8 days from today is when I get my eyeballs done.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's gonna be fun. It should. I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am looking forward to getting that done and then getting the upper end. Hey, Southeast Stacker, thanks for coming in. I just I'm a little nervous about the eyeball thing, but I'm sure it'll be just fine.
No, it's scary to think that they're going to do what they're going to do because oh, hold on, my thing's good. There we go. Okay. I remember my mom telling stories about it when she had hers done, and I don't know if it's just because it was mom, and we were very protective of our moms. It's like, Mom, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that.
My oldest son Nathan, he's going to come up for a few days around the time I get it done and help me with some things out in the yard. But he had a lens replacement in his eye but he had a piece of wire brush in his eye because I can't get the little peckerhead to wear safety glasses ever. So he's like, it's really kind of weird, Dad, but you'll be fine with it. I'm like, yeah, well, mine's not necessarily under duress either, under a situation where.
So, yeah, I know my mom, when she had hers done, they didn't not. And my thing is, you're going to mess with my eyes, you better knock me out. I don't want to know what's going on. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to hear anything. Just get it done.
Yeah.
And she was kind of one of those ones that she wasn't into like gory stuff, but she was kind of into that stuff. She goes, oh yeah, it's wild. I was laying there watching them take things in and out of my eyeball, and I was like, I don't want to hear that. No, I don't want to hear that. And then even a buddy of mine, his mom was having this surgery done on her eye, and I don't know what the name of the procedure was, but basically part of what they do is they take this thing that looks like a ping pong ball cut in half and they ram it in behind your eyeball. and she's
Cool.
telling me about this. And oh yeah, I'm gonna have to come home the first 5 days after the surgery. I'm gonna have a tube sticking out of my eye to make
Drain
sure
it.
there's no pressure. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I don't want to hear this. Oh, here, look, they have a video. They have a video on YouTube. You can watch how they do
Watch
it.
this.
I'm like,
watch this.
no. Like, no, I get up and take off running. I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
But no, you'll be able to feel a lot better once that's done, and then once we get the other stuff taken care of, you're gonna feel like you're 15 again.
Well, I'll see like I'm 15 again, maybe. This.
No, once they get the other thing taken care of, you definitely
I hope so.
You'll feel younger. Trust me.
I hope so. I hope so. Well, I guess I better start rounding it up here and get the doggies fed and get Grandma Cranky called.
Yeah, I heard the phone ringing. I hope I know who that is.
Yeah. It's like clockwork, dude. It's within 4 or 5 minutes. And golly, it's already 20 after 6. I didn't realize that. It's 17 after.
Yeah.
That last 20 minutes went fast, bro.
Yeah, it did.
Wow. Well, the whole 60 minutes did, but
yeah.
I like it.
That means we're having fun.
It does. Yep. Cheap entertainment.
Yeah. Well, hey.
I love it.
We're having fun, and we talked about some serious stuff, talked about some cool stuff, and didn't stress anybody out about medals like some of our fellow YouTubers like to do.
Yep.
So
I like it.
Because that is not my thing. The gloom and doom, that's for people who get sponsored by large online bullion dealers.
Yep, and I don't. We're all adults here, and we're all stackers, and it's like, you know what? Every day is a good day. I don't know who said it, but every day is a good day to stack, and even if it's just a couple of dimes here and there.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to say before we go is I want to send a huge shout out to Silver and Gold Stack Attack for the video he did about 9/11.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I don't like using the word anniversary or commemorating because that was a god awful time for
event.
A lot of
it
us.
It was.
Especially those of us that were first responders, past or present. Because y'all, it hits us different than it hits John Q. Public watching it on TV.
Yep.
And he did a phenomenal job with his. He did a very short live. I think it was about a half an hour long. And then I also want to say kudos to Yankee. He and I have differences of opinion on a few things. I don't hate him for it. I hope he doesn't hate me for it. But his last sit down with Tim that I got to watch, about the first 5-10 minutes of that, he was 100% speaking the truth about everything that's going on in our country right now.
Yeah.
And he did a phenomenal job with that. He ended it with a prayer for Charlie Kirk's wife and kids, and for our country. And I think both guys need a huge pat on the back for that. If you guys didn't get a chance to see it, it's out there on YouTube. You can go back and watch it.
Well said, man.
But yeah, they both did a phenomenal job with what they did there. So
agree.
Well said. With that, I'm going to shut up because Cranky's got the pups to go feed, and we don't leave Grandma Cranky hanging. So
no, she's kind of persnickety like that. She gets a little cranky.
that's what's keeping her going is persnickety.
Yeah, she looks forward to it. My golly, daily.
So, all right. Well, let's we're gonna wrap it up for this Monday night. We'll be back in 2 weeks. That's if Cranky's feeling up to it, because I know sometimes those eye surgeries can take it out of you, and I'm not trying to be a smart ass. It can take it out of you. So if you're not feeling like doing it in a couple of weeks, we'll figure something out.
We'll be good.
You concentrate on being healed up.
Yeah,
So,
just by that time I'll just have
we'll
the eye
talk
done
before
and
then.
it should be healed. Yeah, we
Yeah,
will.
we'll
We
talk before
definitely will.
then. So
Definitely we
all right,
will.
everybody. I'm gonna let Cranky go first.
Yep. Uh Thanks for coming in, everybody, and thanks for watching if you catch this on the replay. Um just in light of everything that's going on, um I'm I'm getting crankier by the day, but I'm also feeling more like we ought to be a little bit more compassionate to each other. And you know, it's kind of a don't take any crap kind of compassion,
Mhm.
if there is
Right.
such a thing. But
Couldn't have said it any better
do
myself.
do do something nice for yourself. Stay safe. Shoot straight. Keep stacking. Stack the right stuff, y'all. I'm out.
All right, everybody. Keep stacking, keep hunting. We'll see you soon. We're out.